Hello and welcome to Nikolai's genetics lessons, and today's problem going to be about how to apply rule of probability in order to solve genetics problems. And here is a problem given a cross between a plant that is heterozygous purple flowered and a plant that is homozygous white flowered. What is the probability of obtaining 4 purple flowers and 7 white flowers among the offspring? Here is 4 answers to choose from. As usual, I recommend you to pause video here, try to solve this problem on your own first, and when you would be ready you can run video again and you can compare your answer with my answer and explanation. So let's analyze our problem. We are told that one plant is heterozygous and purple flowered, and another plant is homozygous and white flowered. So let's dominant allele A would stand for purple pigment, and small allele A would stand for the white pigment. Actually, there is no such thing as a white pigment. Basically, this is one gene, and we have 2 alleles, one that is normal and produced pigment, another is mutated and doesn't produce any pigment at all. So when we don't have any pigment at all, that means that the color is going to be white. And in simple Mendelian genetics, these 2 alleles can produce in diploid organisms 3 genotypes. One would be homozygous dominant, and that means purple color. Another one heterozygous, also purple color, and the third one would be homozygous recessive, and this means white color. So these 2 would make purple phenotype, and this one would make white phenotype. Now we know that we have to cross one purple flowered plant whose genotype is going to be heterozygous, so have to be this one with white flowered plant whose genotype is going to be small a, small a. And when we build a Punnett square, we can find the probability for the progeny to be white, phenotypically white, or to be purple. So capital A, small a here, small a here, capital A, small a here, and small a here. As you see, according to this Punnett square, 50% of the progeny would have purple flowers, another 50% of the progeny would have white flowers. According to our problem, we have to find probability of obtaining 4 purple flowered plants and 7 white flowered plants among the offspring, so total number of combinations would be too great for us to solve this problem manually. Basically, total number of combinations would be 2 in the power of 11. So we are going to use a formula in order to solve this problem, and here is a formula, n factorial. I will explain later, it's very easy how to do factorial calculations. And n here stands for the total number of events, so 4 plus 7, so 11 here, and divided by total number of first variant of events. So first variant of events would be 4 purple flowers, so divided by s, which stand for first variant of events, factorial. And once again, this is purple flowered plant, so s stands for the first variant of events, and divided by second variant of events, which is white flowered plants, so t factorial, and multiplied by frequency of the first type of events. So in our formula, p would stand for this probability in a power of s. So s here, and also we have to multiply by the frequency of the second type of events, and in our formula q stands for the frequency of the second type of events in a power of t. So we are going to use this formula today in order to solve our problem. And this is not that difficult to use this formula. I will explain you in a moment how to do factorial calculations. This exclamation mark we call factorials. So once again, n in our formula stands for the total number of variants. So 4 plus 7. So let's do our calculations, and this is going to be 11. Total number of variants would be 11 factorial. We have to divide by type 1 events, and this is going to be 4 purple flowered plants. So let's put 4 factorial here, and by number of second type of variants, and this is going to be 7 white flowered plants. So 7 factorial. And also we have to multiply by probability of the type first events, and as you see, probability in the progeny to obtain purple flowered plants would be 1/2. So instead of this p, which stands for the probability of type 1 events, we have to put 1/2 and raised number of events of the first type, so raised 4. So s here and s here would be the same number. If we have 4 here, we also have to put 4 here. And q in our formula stands for the probability or frequency of the second type of events. And second type of events is white flowers. And frequency of this, or probability of obtaining white flowers in the progeny, would be also 1/2. So we have to multiply by 1/2 raised in a power of number of type 2 events. So we have to obtain 7 white flowered plants. So we have to put 7 here. So we almost done. Now I have to explain what this factorial means. Basically, factorial 11 means that we have to multiply this number by itself each time reducing by 1. In other words, we have to multiply 11 by 10, by 9, by 8, by 7, by 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we also have to divide this number by factorial 4. So 4 multiplied by 3, by 2, and by 1, and by factorial of 7. So 7 multiplied by 6, by 5, by 4, by 3, by 2, and by 1. So I will omit this part for now. Let's calculate what we have here. What we can do, we can simplify our fraction by crossing out the same numbers on the bottom and on the top of the fraction. So now we're left with this part only, and we also can reduce, for example, we can cross out this 4 and this 8, and we are going to get 2 on top. We can cross out this 3 and this 9, and what we are going to be left with 3 here. We can cross out this 2 and this 10, and instead of 10 we would have 5 here. So basically now we can multiply 2 by 5. We are going to get 10, multiplied by 11, we are going to get 110, and multiplied by 3, we are going to get 330. So this number, this fraction here would equal to 330. And as for this part of the formula, we can multiply the same fractions with different powers by adding one power to another one. So basically this part would be the same as 1/2 raised 11. And of course multiplication sign here. And if you would use calculator and would do these calculations and multiply this number by this number, the answer would be 0.1611. If you need an answer in percentage form, we have to multiply this number by 100 or move this decimal point 2 places to the right. And if you need an answer in percentage form, this is going to be 16.11%. Let's check our answers. And as you see, this is answer B. One more time, I want to go over this formula. Number n here is total number of combinations, so number n would equal to s plus t. And p stands for the frequency of the first type of event, number q stands for the frequency of the second type of events, raised s, and t, which stands for the number of each type of events and would equal this s and t. And also I have a mnemonic technique for you how to memorize this formula. You just have to memorize one word, non-stop. N in non-stop stands for the total number of events, s, t, non-stop. So basically my method would allow you to memorize this part of the formula, and you just then have to recall that in math usually for frequencies we have p and q. So if you would memorize up to here, you then can recall the last part of the formula. So this is my method. I usually use it to recall this formula. Maybe this also would be helpful for you. And my last note would be when we have to use this formula and when we have to use just simple calculation by multiplying all the probabilities. When we have ordered number of events, for example, if the question would be what is the probability that first 4 flowers would be purple flowered and then 7 flowers would be white flowered plants. In this case we have to multiply all the probabilities, so 1/2 by 1/2 by 1/2 and by 1/2 4 times probability of the first type of events, and then 7 times probability of the second type of events. And because in today's problem we don't have ordered number, so according to our problem we have to obtain 11 plants, but order is not given. For example, the first flower can be white, then purple, then white again, then purple again, or as you see, different number of combinations exist. So in this case, when there is no order of events, we have to use this formula. And this is all for today. Thank you for attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.